I'm sifting through a lot of my files inside my PC because I want to do a factory reset.
They're like just scattered all across the. They're like Dragon Balls. They're scattered all across your PC. You gotta find them.
Dude, I got footage from like 2020 of me and my buddies like playing video games. I'm like, do I need
Oh,
this?
I thought you
Do I need
said
it?
footage of you and your buddies farting, and I'm like, oh my
No.
god.
I'm trying to change the conversation to
It's
just
not
like
work.
why I brought up.
It's like a
Because,
really
also-
bad fart, and then it just lingers in the conversation.
Damn it. Moz,
Anyway.
let's do this.
Moss,
Okay.
why are we gathered here today?
Yeah, why are we
Okay.
gathered here today? This better be a good round.
All right, everybody, just hit record on Audacity right now.
I've been
Okay,
recording
3.
the last
Okay.
9 minutes.
Okay, well, if
Oh
you,
my
Two, okay.
you don't need
Action.
to count down. You just press record.
Just shout out to Fate. I
Clap
always
on
count
3.
down.
Yeah, Tejas traumatized you into doing stupid shit. Now I'm
Well,
making
thanks for
myself.
hitting my
we should
fart
ask Tay
thing.
like his thoughts on collecting fart sounds.
No, dude. I know
I'm
Fate's
he
going to
is
be the
not
most.
going to
I'm
answer
sure Tay
that.
would love to hear that.
Yeah, you would really make his day. With that. Make his Tay. As he would want to say.
God. I'm so sorry. This is a thing now. God.
That was really hard to do this episode because we've been fucking talking about stupid shit for
Thinking
20
about jar
minutes.
farts, right?
I'm sorry.
You just want to open it.
Oh my god. Anyway.
Pandora's box of farts.
Greetings, fellow citizens of this global warming planet that's melting. I hope you're
Oh, thanks for reminding me. Great.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I hope you're all staying cool, staying hot and toasty out there. We are gathered here today for a very special presentation. I'm not entirely sure what to call this. Bacon has said it's a recommendation podcast. I guess you could call it that. It's really
That
just
is a really weird way of looking at it, in my
Ex-
personal opinion. I don't think that
Yes.
works as a I mean, it
Exactly.
can, but like, you know, whatever.
It's also, it's kind of more like a lecture. Like, I'm going to talk to you, I'm going to talk at you about a bunch of stupid shit that has happened in history, but is incredibly meaningful to me, to my existence, and of course, the podcast itself. We're kind of doing a deep dive into some juicy lore right here. And I've talked about this several times on several episodes as it has happened. But I feel like it's good to have one specific place where I can talk about it and just kind of have it in, just have it all in one place as it stands right now in the year of our Lord 2023. So, all of you, I am glad that you could be my audience as I tell you a wonderful and amazing and epic tale of the Studio GoHands.
Studio Shaft.
Studio
So
Shaft.
so the studio is called GoHands. Okay,
The studio
go on.
is
I got
called
my
GoHands.
notepad.
Yes, Bacon
Go
did
on.
not.
Go off.
Bacon thought we were going to be talking about a show called GoHands.
How
Yeah,
many
see?
episodes is GoHands?
I know, yeah, dude. This is why I'm here. I need to be educated. This is your chance now.
Yes, I specifically told you to not watch anything so that you could learn, because you have missed out on quite a saga that has occurred in anime history. So GoHands, I think, started off relatively normally, just like any other studio. They made shows. They had some kind of flashy animation every now and then. They kind of started doing their own weird kind of abstract coloring with a lot of their stuff, and they were mildly successful. They had something called like Seitokai Yakidumo, I think it's called. I don't know if there's an English title for that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I remember that.
a show you've heard of.
yeah.
Which they did for a while, and also they made an original series called K Project, which was basically an original action series with some guys that may or may not be hot to some others. And it's like one of those shows. Basically, if it came out today, it would be a gotcha. That's what K Project basically is. And it's not something you hear about really ever over here, but in Japan it was really successful. Got a couple of seasons, got a few movies as well. So GoHands, they got their cash cow, and they were doing this while also, again, experimenting with their own style of animation. They could do some pretty cool, unique stuff, as evidenced by their tagline, which if you ever see their logo in the credits for their anime, it says Animation Entertainment to Advance. They're really forward-thinking innovators of the game. And they would put all of their chips on the table with their next original anime, which would come out in 2017, called Handshakers. Now, Handshakers.
I've heard of this anime.
Anime
All seen.
it's an anime that separates the men from the boys. If you haven't seen Handshakers, I'm going to have footage of Handshakers on screen. Trigger warning. This video will contain footage of Handshakers.
God,
it is the most amazing thing that has ever been created. It is the most animation of all time in many ways. On top of all of the usually weird stuff that GoHands has done over the years. Yeah, it's just GoHands in complete full force. And let me tell you, it was one of the most amusing things I've ever seen in my entire life. I absolutely loved Handshakers to death. And this has something, it might be because Handshakers just has the exact same plot as Mirai Nikki. But also, it's so ridiculous and absurd that it's actually more like Big Order, which is the actual greatest anime of all time. So, I've realized that I have a very deep connection to this anime. Mirai Nikki kind of set me on this path where I'm watching anime as I am now, talking with all of you guys about it. And Big Order was made by the same person, the same creator, the same mangaka. And that is...
starting to see a theme here.
To this day, one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my entire life. And Handshakers shares many similar qualities to it. Unfortunately, these kinds of anime, they aren't so popular with the masses. They aren't so easily understood. They're easily misunderstood. Not a lot of people see the vision. So, Handshakers, as bold and creative and daring as it was, not a very successful series, unfortunately. Didn't sell a lot of the Blu-rays. Doesn't have a very high MyAnimeList score. As a matter of fact, it's one of the lowest scored anime on the website. Because lots of people go, CG, my eyes are bleeding. But I think that's just a skill issue.
My eyes are bleeding.
My eyes!
It hurts to look at. It is painful.
I mean, it is.
Hey, I tried it. Again, a rec from Oz, I watched it, and I was like, alright, it's pretty good. But,
Wait, did you watch Handshakers?
No.
I thought you just said you watched Handshakers.
No, I didn't watch it this year. I watched it like a year after it aired because you kept on raving about it. And I'm like, Moz seems like he knows what he's talking about. And then I was just watching it and I was like, oh, I forgot. This is a Moz recommendation.
That, yeah.
And then weeks later, you're like, you need to watch Big Order. And I'm like, okay, dude, he hasn't failed me. And I watched it. I went, can I go back home?
Now that's cinema.
I like how big
there was a Big Order.
I like how Bacon is just very casually talking about like watching Handshakers in Big Order and just like shrugging it off like it's no big deal.
Like, well, what? How do you want me to react, man? Like...
I don't know. Usually people react with screaming and Maz, why did you make me watch this? I hate you, and I'm never talking to you ever again.
I don't hate you. It's just I wrecked all this crap to you guys, and I don't expect the same like energy back. Have you watched Goop? Have you?
No.
There you go. I think that's the only way you could apologize to me. Then
I'll watch Goop when it's over.
They already had Das Finale. How more over can it be?
They've been Das Finale for years.
Yeah,
Das Finale has Becker's right. Parts. The Das Finale, Das Finale is 6 parts. I think.
Woo! They keep saying it's Jover, but they keep coming back.
I haven't watched part 3 and 4 yet. I'm very excited.
I think it's on part 4. I actually have no idea.
I might just watch it today. Actually, man, I got time now.
I'll
go on, Maz. Apologies.
Right on.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Handshakers. It was what it was. It was beautiful. Maybe too beautiful. Too good for this world.
We're not ready for this kind of stuff yet.
Yeah, of course. The streets aren't ready for this. They were years ahead.
The streets
of the time.
are not ready.
So Studio GoHands, they would, they take it off the chin. They were cool with it. They understood. So they changed strategies a little bit. They'd have another new original series coming out in 2019. They started advertising a little bit, and they say, oh, they put out a trailer for it. It's like this guy doing like some turntable DJing in some kind of weird mystical void or something like that. So they label it as some kind of musical themed action anime. So seems pretty cool. Seems all right. And then it comes out, and it's called W's. At least that's what I call it all the time. It's just W''Z.
We weren't ready for these dubs.
Yeah, yeah. See,
is it pronounced like whiz?
I think that's
like you're taking a whiz.
I think that's what they want you to pronounce it as.
Well, then do that. Like that
no,
awesome.
because it sounds funnier when I say W's. Because that's all GoHands can take.
That's so true, actually.
Because you can't spell handshakers with L, right? There's no L in handshakers. There's no L in
Slakers.
There's no L in GoHands. And most importantly, there's no L in W's.
That's true. There is not. It's only spelled with dubs.
So anyway, W's. This show finally comes out. This new original show. This new original IP. And the way it starts is that it begins showing flashbacks, showing scenes of handshakers. It begins recapping the plot of Handshakers. And then it finally says 10 years later. It is it is a direct sequel to Handshakers. Despite the fact that they never said a single thing about Handshakers in the marketing for this anime. Not a single the Handshakers characters are not on the key visuals. They're not on any promotional materials. Nothing about Handshakers was present in the marketing for this series. GoHands literally came out and said that they were making a new original show and just did not say that it was related to Handshakers in any way. They basically hid a sequel from everybody because they knew that Handshakers was unpopular. It was unsuccessful. Nobody wanted to watch a sequel to Handshakers. But they made it anyway. They just felt like it. And they put it out into the world and they tricked everybody into watching it. Because lots of people would say, oh, I'll watch a new original show. But if obviously no one was going to, if it's Handshakers 2, no, not going to watch that. But I'll watch a new thing. No. It wasn't a new thing at all. It was just Handshakers 2.
So, question. I got my hand raised. Question.
What's up?
Who asked for this sequel?
Me.
Moss.
I went up to the GoHands HQ and said, make Handshakers 2. And they said, that's a terrible idea. We'll do it.
We're allowed to just go up to anime studios and ask for what we want?
Apparently. I mean, it worked for me.
Is that why there's no Hyoka Season 2? No one's asked for it?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm gonna
taking
go
shots.
ask for it.
Taking shots. I like that. That's very good.
I really cannot stress this enough, folks. This animation studio made a brand new show and lied about what it was. They presented it to the world as a completely different thing. Who does that?
Old move.
Like, how has that ever happened in anything ever before where someone just like, oh yeah, I made this thing, it's like totally new, and then it's actually it was just like some weird franchise tie-in. Like, how often do you see that?
Yeah, wait, was it called Glass? It's like actually, or Split? It was actually a sequel to...
Right, the M. Night Shyamalan movies.
Yeah, right?
No, I think in the marketing it was... I think Split and Glass were marketed as sequels to Unbreakable, right?
Unbreakable, that's what it's called. Yes.
This would be an M. Night
Or
Shyamalan
no. Was the
franchise.
Twist in Split that it was set in the Unbreakable universe?
I think that's right. I think it was
tangent.
revealed in the movie. That was the same one. And then Glass is like where they meet or something. I don't know.
A Glasterpiece.
Glasterpiece.
So to speak.
But this is when I think GoHands truly came into their own. When they decided to just completely go against what everybody wanted, what everybody said. Everybody was so terrified of Handshakers, and they didn't care. They made it again. As if to spite everybody. I began to feel like GoHands were truly villainous with their actions. They just don't care about what you want at all. They just want to do what they want. And I respect that a lot. So, 2021 would come around. Once again, GoHands has announced that they have a new original show coming out. Something called Scar on the Praetor, I think it is. That's how you would pronounce it. Yeah, okay. I don't know. And once again, it looks like a totally new original thing. Actually kind of looks like K-Project. Kind of looks like it might be some kind of gotcha tie-in. Whether or not that actually happened, I'm not entirely sure. But once again, I'm thinking, it's Handshakers, isn't it? Which, by the way, I actually forgot to mention that I literally predicted W's being a Handshakers sequel. I had no basis to that whatsoever. I just started saying it would be Handshakers 2. And man, I think that was the greatest day of my life when it actually came out and it was Handshakers 2. And my shit posts were right all along. So yeah, like I said, I asked for it. So I was doing it once again for this new show, Scar on the Praetor. It came out. It has nothing to do with Handshakers. It's actually an original show this time. And even visually, it's toned down significantly from Handshakers. I mean, granted, W's was also toned down significantly. They didn't go supernova again like they did from Handshakers. Although, actually, small tangent. One of the things that stands out so much
thing's a tangent. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
let's go on.
One of the things that stands out so much about Handshakers is that in the first episode, which is, the episode that scars everybody for how it looks, it's got like chains flying all over the screen in different frames per second from the rest of the show.
It was a good try.
So it's just nauseating. And the reason why it's chains is because the story of Handshakers is that 6 pairs of people, they have to fight to the death, and then the winner gets a wish granted from God or something like that. So the first pair that the main characters fight is some bizarre BDSM-themed couple where this one guy just chains his girl up and steps on her and yells at her and shit like that. Lots of chains and shit like that.
Beast?
Yeah, super cool, right? In W's, the sequel, the main character of that series is the child of that couple. I just felt like sharing that.
Why?
Because. Also, Handshakers has some kind of brother-sister couple, and they get married in W's.
Yeah, I thought I remember something about that.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is what I want to hear. This is what I want to hear.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a
finally some substance.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, sorry if I didn't sell you properly on Handshakers and W's earlier.
Buried the lead here, mister.
Yeah. My mistake.
I'm here for quality content. All right?
I was really just talking about the shenanigans of GoHands as a studio. I got totally lost in that. And also, you might have noticed that I'm not really talking about this third show that they had coming out, Project Scarred, as it was. And that's because, frankly, it just wasn't that good. Even I didn't find much interest in it. So I dropped it. There just wasn't really anything new to the saga. And I thought, okay, they've moved on. We've all moved on. They decided, they're just going to kind of go back to making shows with their kind of weird coloring. Occasionally they'll try doing the flashy animation. But what's important to note, even if I haven't really gotten that across, is that GoHands will try to have these crazy Sakuga moments with like full body animation.
Oh my god.
Crazy camera movement and shit like that. They absolutely
Will they ever?
Cannot do that properly. It always looks really jank. And that's part of what makes some of their shows so fun to watch, like Handshakers, because I had a ton of that. Anyway, so this Project Scarred show, it had some of that, but not so much to be like super funny, and it didn't continue the Handshakers narrative. I thought, okay, this joke has kind of run its course. I'll move on with my life. Maybe GoHands. Yeah, me and them are gonna spend some time apart. However, this was not the only show that GoHands had scheduled in 2021. In fact, it would be the very next season, in spring, where they would have their next show coming out. And it was Tokyo Babylon 2021. Tokyo Babylon is a manga by Clamp, who is most famous for making Cardcaptor Sakura, and at least some of Code Geass, or like the character designs of Code Geass, as well as Chobits. And this...
Dude, Clamp's Clamp's design is great.
Yeah. And so,
Right, is it the Clamp? Okay, I was going to say,
yeah, Clamp.
Clamp design like half of Code Geass. The other
Clamp.
half is like a porn guy, like for real, like straight up.
I did not
Sorry,
know that.
I didn't want to.
Today
I
I
didn't mean
learned.
to like just totally jump, raid your ship for a second. That's
okay.
my bad. My bad.
I love it.
Sorry, I'm reading Mal reviews right now.
So,
God.
so Tokyo Babylon is this manga by Clamp that was, I believe, celebrating its 25th anniversary, which is why it was called Tokyo Babylon 2021. I think it also might have had an adaptation like years prior, something like that. So, of all studios, GoHands, is this incredibly infamous studio that currently nobody likes, is given the okay to do this adaptation of a beloved classic by a famous creative. However, this anime would not come out in spring 2021. Just weeks or maybe a couple months before it was supposed to come out, a news article comes out saying that the anime has to be delayed indefinitely because the designs of the anime are heavily plagiarized, as they say. GoHands have heavily plagiarized a Korean fashion magazine and maybe other things to make the designs of Tokyo Babylon. In fact, it's suggested that this plagiarism had gone on for quite a while and just nobody noticed.
Do you have comparison pictures?
You know what? I might do this in post. I don't have them on
Put
hand.
it in post.
Yes,
Put it in post.
Put it in post.
But what confuses me about that, because first of all, it's really funny. Second of all, it's an adaptation of a manga, which is a visual medium, which is a thing with designs in it already. Why the fuck would they need to rip off a Korean fashion magazine? The designs are already there.
GoHands, that's the answer. Don't question the motives of GoHands, motherfucker.
These outfits won't do. We'll spiffy them up. That's
So
a great idea.
So this adaptation, it has to wait before it comes out because they're like, okay, we're gonna fix this. We're gonna make sure that this is okay, so that no further trouble is caused. We'll redo the designs and redo the parts of the anime with them, and then maybe like a couple weeks after this, another article comes out saying that the anime is basically canceled because the plagiarism was so heavy that they just could not work around it. So,
Jesus.
the plans are to redo this Tokyo Babylon adaptation with someone else because clearly GoHands have made something so great that it just could not exist. Literally, they made something too good for this world. And what's especially interesting about this is that in 2022, GoHands would actually sue their parent company, King Records, for unpaid work that they did for Tokyo Babylon. Because as they say, they had actually completed 12 episodes of Tokyo Babylon by the time it was canceled. And it was canceled before it was supposed to come out, in February of 2021 or so, and it was supposed to start in April. So they had done at least half of the show, and they had said that they had made significant progress on 6 or 7 or 10 more episodes after that. So they had basically finished the show. And so my hope is someday we'll get the GoHands Tokyo Babylon 2021. Because it's out there. It exists.
So
they made it.
Wow. I've been shown. I'm looking at pictures of this right now, and oh my god, that's pretty
straight up just
That's pretty plagiarizing,
photos,
bro.
right?
That's no way working around that.
Yeah, that they show one of the manga designs, and here's the reinterpretation, and it's just a 1-for-1 recreation.
Don't copy it
doll.
word for word. Don't copy my homework word for word. And it's they just said that.
And it's which again begs the issue: why did they change it? The design is right there. It's fine.
Wild
idiots.
So, just for the record, by the way, this whole lawsuit with King Records, King Records is basically the studio, the company, the whatever, that has basically funded GoHands this entire time. They are the ones who have basically allowed GoHands to do all of their stuff. So, making the K project, that was kind of because of King Records. had a little burp, sorry. Making handshakers, that was, of course, King Records. It was also a collaboration with another production company or something called Frontier Works, for what it's worth. Same with W's. So many people came together and decided that a Handshaker sequel that would be disguised as something else would just be a wonderful idea. I don't know. But, yeah, it's just very interesting that GoHands would just turn on them like that. Although I don't blame them. They weren't paid for their work. Get that bag. I don't know what.
Pay your workers. Unionize.
Exactly.
Go hands, more like go on strike.
Yeah, and it was like,
hey,
and it wasn't a small amount of money or so. It was like 300 or 400 million yen, which is like, a few $1 million.
That is a lot.
Yeah,
that is more than I will make in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Rookie numbers.
Where was I? Oh yeah. So I don't know what ended up happening with this lawsuit, but I do know that currently in this season there is a series by Frontier Works that is at least funded by Frontier Works, and I think King Records, and it also has the character designer who did the character designs for K Project, but it is not made by GoHands. It's called Ayaka. I haven't seen it yet. I've just kind of heard mixed things about it, but it very much looks like K Project. Very much looks like something. Very much looks like a GoHands show, but it's not GoHands.
I'm going to consider Ayaka dropped, even though I made no attempt to actually watch it. I did plan to watch it, but I no longer have any interest in it because I was grabbing the trailer off of YouTube for a podcast that I am working on right here. And, look, I just want to say, I don't even have my volume up all the way on YouTube, on my speaker. It's only, that's not too high. The very first thing that you hear in this trailer is like, I don't know, some kind of shine noise, maybe even a sword. And it's this absolutely ear-splitting screech. Just... It probably doesn't show up so loud on this phone, but holy fucking shit was that loud when I first played it. Jesus Christ, I do not want anything to do with this series just because of that one noise. So fuck you, Ayaka. Fuck you, Crunchyroll. Fuck you, Gora. Fuck you, King Records. Pay GoHands for Tokyo Babylon 2021, by the way.
And I was really wondering, though. I was wondering with this kind of tragic news that GoHands had been canceled so harshly like this. I mean, they had literally done nothing wrong, honestly. And they have just been removed from existence like this. Tragic. So sad. I was wondering, what would become of this studio? And all that unpaid labor, that's not a small amount. Like, are they going to survive with all of that? Well, great news. GoHands would return in 2023. And not only would they return with a freaking vengeance. Once again, they would get an anime, they would be able to adapt a manga that is quite beloved, quite popular, and has so many eyes on it. And it's one of the most popular anime this season. It's called The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses. And not only that, not only are they doing this, but they have a second anime in this very same season. Another manga adaptation of something called, hang on, what is it called?
My husband is a big chungus.
The Masterful Cat is depressed again today. That's what it's called.
Oh, I think I've seen shots of that. I showed that to the wifey because it's a big cat.
It's about an office worker who lives with a giant cat who takes care of her.
And the cat takes care of it, does all the chores.
It's gender bent Senko-san.
Yeah.
I hate you for saying that. Fuck you, Panic. That is the worst thing anybody has ever said, because I was about to say that it's everything that I've ever wanted in my life, just a giant cat living in my house. I mean, I do have a very large cat for what it's worth, but he doesn't take care of me. I take care of him.
He doesn't cook?
Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, it's kind of the other way around.
Yeah. But also, they've got that glasses show, which has so many of GoHands' wonderful trademarks.
Oh my god.
The crazy, excessive character animation, the odd coloring, the super reflective surfaces, the
they just
camera
can't stop
movements.
themselves. Like, they'll do these crazy low angle, like, wide shots that just, they look horrible, but they just do them all the time. It's the weirdest flex.
The abundance of NPCs that are animated smoothly in the show, like all the background characters, they gotta move around, they gotta walk. These are lived-in environments, people. And also elevator music plays constantly. It's a GoHands production, except it's one of the most popular anime of the season. For the first time in, really, since K-Project, I guess. It's been quite a while since GoHands was at the top of the charts like this. And man, are people pissed. Because, like I said, lots of people don't like GoHands' shenanigans. I don't know. But me, I'm just happy that they're back and everybody is forced to witness what kind of cookery they're up to this time. And they also have a second anime. It's great enough that we have one GoHands anime this season. They have two anime this season. How did they even have time to animate two shows this season? I don't know, but they're doing that.
The cat one even looks good most of the time.
See, here's the funniest thing. The cat anime doesn't have so much of the crazy GoHands stuff. It does still have a lot of it, or like some of it, but also like done way better.
Right. There's something they can't stop doing. Like, when I looked at pictures of handshakers just now because we were talking about it, and I noticed that the coloring was very much the same. It's very cold, weirdly.
Cold is a good way of putting it.
Yeah, it's very, very bright with like no warm hues at all. It's very shiny, plasticky, sterile.
Everything looks like it's made out of glass.
Right. The glass, like an iRobot plastic surface of everything.
Hey, everyone looks like Sunny.
Right,
Everything looks like Sunny from iRobot. Hell yes. Good shit.
It's very off-putting in a weird way.
GoHands.
But the cat one actually kind of looks decent most of the time.
Yeah. The cat anime, unironically, not even memeing, looks like a good show. Like, it just looks good. But I would also say that I think that the girl I like, the Megane show, the Glasses show, I think that one looks good. At the very least, it looks amusing to me. So this is where we are present day with Studio GoHands. This is their little history and where they're at now. And the other sort of point that I wanted to make with this, and this is where all of y'all can come in, is that, I've been saying it, lots of people just hate GoHands. Lots of people just despise this studio. Anytime they have a new show coming out, there's always a bunch of people coming like, oh man, GoHands, look at this shit that they're up to. Everybody was posting clips of the Glasses show like, oh, look at this fucking terrible animation. Fucking GoHands did it again. But here's my thing. Here's my take. I love GoHands. And I'm not just saying that I love GoHands because of all of their hilarious industry kind of stuff that they've done. Their epic industry pranks, plagiarism, sequels disguised as fake shows. I love GoHands because they commit to their own vision. They have a style, and they think that they're cutting edge. Like I said, animation, entertainment to advance. They think that they're...
do they say this in like interviews? Are there interviews where they talk about like their creative process and like...
You know what? That's a great question, Bex. No, they don't.
Oh.
They don't really openly talk about much of what goes on in that studio.
They just cook, honestly. Yeah.
Although
they
kind of rocks.
From what I hear from like I guess industry insiders, it's a fairly, I don't know if well-run studio would be the right way of putting it. They treat their workers properly. That's a good way of putting it. So
aside from not getting paid.
That wasn't even their fault. Well, okay, it was technically their fault. They weren't paid by their parent company. Which, for unknown circumstances that no one can understand. They didn't do anything wrong. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, what I love about GoHands is that they think that they're like front runners. They're like they're trendsetters in the industry because of the way they make their shows. Or maybe they don't, but even still, they commit to it. They have their own way of doing things, and they just won't be told by anyone else what to do. They're going to do what they want. And we can criticize, we can nitpick the way GoHands anime look, but I find it so much more fun to watch, and I find their style so much more fascinating than all of the low-quality, rushed-out garbage that comes out from quite literally half, if not more than that, of the seasonal anime that come out nowadays. Like, I'm so tired of looking at low-res character models animated like it was done by, I don't know, 2 alligators stapled together or something. Just fucking terrible shit. It's like every show has that, seemingly. It happens all the time. You hear all the nightmares about the industry so often. GoHands is truly one of one. No one is doing anything like they are. And that's what is beautiful about them.
They're really sticking to their artistic vision.
Exactly. Even if no one likes it, no one appreciates it.
These seem like passion projects above anything else.
Right.
Perhaps.
Like, there's something to be said for, like, being an auteur and have, like, sticking to your vision. And
Even
some
if your
people
shit
do that.
sucks. That's like,
Even-
it's like kind of
even
like
if
Michael
you're-
Bay, right? Michael Bay is an
Bay,
auteur, right?
M. Night
Like,
Shyamalan, like, people who stick to their guns, and most of the time it doesn't pay off, but every once in a while it's pretty good.
I was going to say, GoHands sounds like the Michael Bay or the M. Night Shyamalan of, like, anime.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
The M.
I
Night
think that's
Shyamalan.
about right.
Well,
It's like
yeah.
one in 10 projects will turn out good.
I'll just say, M. Night Shyamalan's latest movie, it's fucking fire. I'll just
Which
say
one
that
was
much.
that?
Knock at the Cabin. Came out this year.
I haven't seen it.
Well, you should. It's good.
I'll just watch it.
It's got Dave Bautista in it. He's like a big guy.
He's big boy.
Dude, he's so big. Oh man, I wish I had his volume. He's so big.
His mass.
He's a very
He's
lovable
serious.
guy too.
He's such a chill guy. I love it.
Yeah.
He's like the inverse of like The Rock, because he goes out and he does like interesting roles in movies where The Rock is like, I have to be the safest actor of all time.
And I
only
can
do
never
things-
lose a fight.
I can never lose in my movies. I have to be the coolest action figure ever. And it's like, fuck
Then-
off, dude.
And you watch every Guardians movie and Drax just gets his shit beat.
But he's also like the best character in
But
this
everybody loves him because he's
Yeah,
awesome.
everyone loves him.
Everyone loves Drax.
He at least Batista is making choices, like
Right.
interesting choices. Yeah, whatever.
So, Bacon, do you have any questions about GoHands or, I don't know, anything to say about... Anything
I'll
to say
take more
about
Rex
the,
from you about this, but these are going down at the bottom of my list of Rex.
Okay.
I
What's
gotta
the-
get going. The wife
What's at the top of the
to
list?
get burgers.
I was like, oh, Bacon's just thinking about burgers right now. Maybe some bacon on some burgers.
Maybe
Okay,
maybe
so
we'll get some burgers
I know
after
this is like an anime series, an anime studio that I'm not gonna be keeping up with it 100% like you are.
I can't. I
But,
can't cut out.
All I can say is, good rec. I'll get to it when I have time. And oh, look at the time.
I was gonna say, counterpoint. You have plethoras of time right now.
No, I don't.
Several
No,
Yeah, you
plethoras.
do. You have you have more time than you did 5 months ago.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, whatever.
You don't know me. You don't know my life.
You
I
ain't
know
me.
you.
You don't know me.
I know you better than I know myself.
You don't know me, son.
Does anybody
Actually,
else...
for real though, I actually do have to get going now. Like,
Oh, okay.
Oh,
you
door
really want
doors
those
like
burgers,
for
bro.
real open.
Okay.
Damn.
All right, but yeah, all right, yeah. Good
Does
talk.
anyone else have
I
any
will
questions about GoHands or their history?
Yes. What does the name mean?
I don't know. It's probably short for God Hands or Goat Hands because they were the best studio.
That's so funny that it was like, GoHands isn't even that long, but they just like, we're going to take out a couple letters.
Yeah.
Then we got to shorten it, yeah. I always read it as like, got milk, like GoHands?
Got
Got
hands?
milk? Like, got hands? I
Got
hope you
hands?
got hands.
Got hands.
Your life would be a lot
Yoshikage
easier if you did.
More like production, stay feet.
What?
The opposite of GoHands.
Okay.
Go hands go.
Not gonna
Kinda like
lie.
Go dogs go.
I thought you were making a fate joke. Fate stay feet.
Stay feet.
But yeah, that's honestly all I had to say about this. I just wanted to share the life and times of Studio GoHands. Any other?
It's nice with like sharing your favorite anime studio like that.
Yeah. They're
Are they your favorite, or like where are they on the rank?
I really do think that they're my favorite because not only are their shows just so fascinating to watch, but just like I said, the history of this studio is so bizarre that it's like
We'll see.
It's one thing that they make funny shows. It's another thing that they just are just kind of weird people who I don't know, don't play by the rules, I think.
Yeah, they actually break the law sometimes.
Yeah.
Plagiarize. When they really didn't have to. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. It's crazy. It's so blatant, too. Crazy.
But yeah,
Good stuff.
that's all I wanted to say about this. Is I guess this was also a pseudo first impressions of their two shows.
Of their two shows.
The Glasses show and the Big Cat show.
Big the cat.
Big Chungus show.
Big. Man, I want to have a big cat who cooks.
Yeah. I'm so glad that my favorite studio has rewarded me by making a show that is just my every dream.
What's the name of your black cat?
Macy.
Macy. I didn't think I've heard that.
If
one
she
before.
was
Is
gray,
new?
it should be Macy Gray.
Is Macy new?
No, Macy's actually 13 years old.
God
Wait,
damn.
why haven't we really heard about Macy? Because it's been mostly just the
We
Jeffrey
only ever
show.
hear about Oliver and Jeffrey.
Yeah, who are fucking dead now.
Both of them?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, Oliver.
Wait,
Man.
I thought
Rip.
only one died.
Oliver died 2 years ago,
Oh,
and Jeff died, a couple months ago.
Recently.
Yeah.
oh, rest in peace, Jeff.
Rest in power.
Rest in power. So yeah,
What a
so
king.
so
What
it,
a chunky king.
so it's
Oh, boy.
it's just Macy and Reggie now.
Reggie. That's the one.
Reggie.
Yeah.
Wait, what color is Reggie?
Reggie's the white cat with spots.
Is that the
Oh, you
one
got
that's
a black cat and a white cat.
Exactly.
Is Reggie the one who's actually a rabbit?
Yes, I call him Rabbit. Reggie Rabbit.
Who framed Reggie Rabbit?
Exactly.
We have to. Okay, we actually have to do that Roger Rabbit podcast.
Are we doing that?
We're gonna
Is that what we're doing now?
oh.
Part 2.
All right.
That was somehow a
end of
primer
the
for
GoHands
Roger Rabbit.
podcast. Bye.